Hello everyone. We just left our Facebook group to have this section on our Instagram. We've been having some unexplainable technical difficulties on Facebook. Very discouraging, but refuse to be discouraged. Today promises to be quite exciting, so I'll just go over it. So this is actually the Back to Africa live event. This is actually the Back to Africa live event, and every Saturday by 12 p.m. CST, we actually come online to drop content to our group members. So if you've been having interest in coming to the motherland, if you want to travel to Africa, you want to pay a visit, whatever, you should be on the Back to Africa show, because we actually drop a lot of interesting content. So I think Instagram is better. From today henceforth, we'll just be using Instagram. I can't bother myself. Like 30 minutes. This is 6:34. We've been running around trying to deal with this. Don't know why that was happening though. Chief Mansa is yet to follow the Instagram handle. Once he follows us, then he would get online. So we must have this section, whether the devil likes it or doesn't like it. We must have this section. So on today's Back to Africa show, we have Chief Mansa Foday Ajamu. He's someone I have been following for some time, and I actually respect. Okay, he's around already, so let's just bring him up. Hello, Chief. I don't know what's happening. Oh, finally.
Yeah, greetings.
Yeah, it's very, like, Facebook could be so disappointing.
We fight through it. We have to fight through it. You know, it's a struggle.
Yeah. So, Chief, how have you been?
I'm doing well, sister. I'm happy to finally be here with you. Of course, you know we've been trying to get this show going for a few weeks, maybe about a month and a half.
Yes.
But myself, I was very busy, touring people and helping people get settled here in Freetown. So it's been rough, but the rain season is allowing more time, so I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Welcome again. I'm really happy, and I'm really grateful that you actually made it here, because this has been like one of the most difficult sections to get. I don't know why this has been happening, but we are glad we have you here finally. So, Chief, I would like you to introduce yourself. I already did that on the group before, but I would like you to, because some of our audience have actually been interested and waiting to to know more about you. So please just do a brief introduction about yourself to some of our audience.
Yeah, sure. My name is Chief Foday Ajamu. That's my official name. I was born in the United States of America, in the state of Pennsylvania. I grew up between there and South Carolina, where my mother and my family is from. I am a Gullah in terms of heritage, my national identity. I don't view myself only as an African in America. I am particularly from this Gullah and of course, we are African people who were enslaved and created a
I think Chief's network is breaking.
23 years. I'm not sure. Are you getting me?
Yes, I can hear you. It was breaking. Yes, I can hear you now. I don't know why it's still happening that. Okay, can you hear? Sorry, Chief. I don't know if I think you're having a slight internet
really trying
connection
to figure ways to really bring resources.
Oh, he just went off. Like, he's in Africa, he's in Sierra Leone, and this is some of the things we have to deal with right now. This I'm in Nigeria, and he's in Sierra Leone, but we're still going to get him up. We just have to be patient. That's what we have to deal with at times, internet issues. But so let me just introduce. I have his. So for some of us just joining in, so he's actually a Pan-Africanist organizer, and he has been in Sierra Leone for 9 years. He's been living in Freetown. Freetown is the capital of Sierra Leone. So Chief Foday serves as the executive director for the Black Star Action Network International. Okay, Basani. So he's also the CEO of the Gullah Redemption Mission, Sierra Leone, and the paramount chief of the Gullah Nation of North America. So stay tuned and just be patient. Thank you, because you would have a lot to learn from on today's live section. Let's just... Okay, while we wait to get him up, already accepted his request to join. We'll be learning a lot. So he actually has this movement. Okay, he's back up. See, that says West Africa live stream.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. It's the internet. But yeah, so I was saying that I'm a Pan-Africanist. I fell in love with community organizing, fell in love with studying about Africa, seeking my own roots, discovered myself to be of several different African ethnicities. Bamaleke, I have a relationship with the Mandinkas, I have a relationship with the Mendes, and I'm sure many other groups, but it's all Africa to me. So I am a Pan-Africanist, but I did narrow down on my family's groups and chose Sierra Leone because we have a heritage here. As a starting point, of course, the whole Africa is ours, but there's no place like home, so to speak. And I've been here since 2013. I built an organization here called the Black Star Action Network International, whereas we engage in local development projects, youth outreach, women empowerment. We have farming projects. We have medical missions that into the villages. And we also help people to discover their pathway home as well. My wife and I, we run a consultancy service. It's not just business. Some people consult us just to learn how to do genealogy, how to study their roots. People want to know about the culture in Sierra Leone, you know, the economic climate. Is it safe to return? And so I get a lot of questions often. And of course, all of it is education. I get to learn and people get to learn, but that's who I am. That's really what I really put myself into, to be an asset to us all.
Okay. Okay, thank you. It's quite slow. I don't know. The voice was ahead of your facial movement, but that's fine. We'll just use it. is West Africa live stream. Okay, so you said 9 years ago in 2013 you came to Africa. So like what inspired this? Like what made you take that decision to finally relocate to Africa? Yeah, so what made you make that decision to just permanently relocate to Africa?
Okay. So, right. Well, I always wanted to have a long here, but what made me really come here was I got involved with Pan-African. I would support different local missions that Pan-Africanists was organizing here on the continent. And through that, I made a lot of friends. I gained a lot of understanding. I wanted to come home and be able to apply what I know from the West here to see how best we could, come to efforts and, develop Africa together. So I came home to be a resource. And also because it's home. There's a lot of reasons why African Americans are leaving America. A lot of it is the legal system, the racism, the lack of employment opportunities, financial strain. There's so many reasons why people are leaving the United States of America, just like there's so many reasons people are leaving Africa.
Yeah.
There's a brain drain in Africa. Most of our brightest minds are going to the West,
yes,
and empowering those countries. And enough of us aren't coming back to give our skills. So I just felt compelled by my commitment to Africa and African people to be one of those who actually take the journey home.
Okay. That's lovely. That's really amazing. So the Gullah Redemption Mission, can we know more about this? You're actually the CEO
Yes,
of
absolutely.
that movement. So what is the movement about? What's the core mission of that movement?
Okay, so the core mission of the movement is to unify and empower Gullah African way. Some of us returned. Some of us remember where we came from, our cultures, maintain our family traditions as much as possible. So the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone is a non-profit organization registered here in Sierra Leone for the purpose of redeeming that special kinship relationship between Gullahs in the West and our Sierra Leonean brothers and sisters here on the continent. So that's pretty much what it is. We have many different ways that we pursue that relationship, many different ways that we enhance that relationship and strengthen that connection. So, yeah, I mean, that's the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone. Now, the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone is actually an international partner with the Gullah Nation of North America, which is a nonprofit organization in the United States of America that is striving to awaken the sleeping or Gullah Geechee, and then have an opportunity to reconnect with our
The network is really not too strong, but it's just something to go by with. Yeah, so I'm actually interested. Like when I saw you are a chief, I was quite thrilled. I'm African and I know what it is to be a chief. Like where I come from, we must have achieved some some feats and done some things to the community to be given a chieftaincy title. So tell us, how was your journey? When were you given your chieftaincy title, and how did you come about it?
Yeah.
Oops. I'm not sure they can hear right now.
Right. So first of all, like I said earlier, I'm a Gullah.
West Africa live stream. We'll take it for it, Caesar. But you can see so much value to drop. So much value to drop. But it's fine, will not be deterred. Refuse to be deterred. Yeah, so we still wait for Chief. He still has a lot to tell us. So whether the internet likes it or not, it just has to be nice for today. So we would like to hear how he got his chieftaincy title. Because in Africa, no one just gets a chieftaincy title. You must want it. You must. Okay. I didn't ask him. He actually left himself. I didn't ask him to leave. He left him. Okay, we are back on. So let's just leave you to just talk. Yes, yes. I asked them how you came about the chieftaincy title and the community. Yeah.
Okay, no doubt. So first of all, I'm a Gullah Geechee, and our people believe in our African traditions, but we've lost a lot. So our mission is to restore what we lost. And one of the things that we lost is our sense of chieftaincy, is our sense of community self-determination and national identity. So I'm a part of a group called the Gullah Nation of North America. We formed in 2015. At first, I served as international ambassador, and I actually sparked the Gullah Redemption Mission at that time. And we embarked on farming projects. We embarked on outreach. We did community cleanups in the city of Freetown, and all of those things before I was actually appointed the chief. We had another chief, and I'm actually the third chief of the Gullah Nation of North America. So it was a process, and I started as international ambassador building the mission. And now, so later, Paramount Chief passed away, and there was a little bit of struggle to see who else was going to be, and I was appointed. I was elected unanimously by a body comprised of council of elders, council of peers, and others who are Gullah Geechees, who all unite around the concept of rebuilding and redemption model. And from there, I became the third Paramount Chief of the Gullah Nation of North America. But I gained the title, the official title, by going through coronation. I was coronated here on April 5th, 2019, in a Mandingo village. In the same village that adopted me, found me, gave me my name, and I was living with already for years as family. And some of the projects that we had did was there, so they facilitated my official traditional coronation. You can be the chief, you can just take a name, but I was actually coronated, and I worked in conjunction with other chiefs throughout this country, make sure that we could find ways to feed our people and take developmental goals.
Okay. Well, that's really amazing. So, Chief, the thing is, many people have reached out to me. Like, I've had people tell me they're interested in relocating to Africa, but I just tell these people, like, how were you able to settle the first time, like the first year, those early years when you were in Sierra Leone? How were you able to survive, like, everything you've known, like, especially like your finances, how were you able to start all over again, business and everything, all those projects you said you had to do? What was the finance like? How was it like? Just would like to know.
Yeah. Well, it was a struggle, but because of what I know, I was able to balance. I was able to manage. Finances was a struggle for me in America. I didn't come from wealth in America. Finances have never been my strength, but my skill set has always positioned me to be able to be resourceful. And so I've always to understand how to turn $1 into $5. I've always understood the basic thing. My mother was a vendor. My mother used to go in the streets and sell clothes, sell insect clothes. So I grew up in a family that embraced the concept of making money. So the first thing that I did here to make money, and for the first 3 months, I was able to take my time learning how to greet language, knowing how things move. I was able to take my time on these things because I had help from the same people that invited me here to get to know how to move around from here that could guide me. Now I actually play that role with other people that come and have somebody on the ground who understands the system that can navigate this you. So I did have that, and then I was importing used phones from America. I would send them over to myself because I realized here in Africa, an American used phone is even more preferable than a brand new China phone. And
Yes.
so, I did my. I sold them. Eventually, I rented a place. Eventually, I built the business. And then my business was just a mom and pop shop. I sold provisions to a very poor community, actually. But we provided provisions, entertainment for the youth. The football games that they have, they would come over and watch the football games. We have our big loudspeakers and just really vibrant in the community. So it wasn't about making money to me. It was about making relationships with people here. So I think that I was able to navigate best when I first got here because I got to know the people and I trusted in the people. And I knew that it would take, but I was committed to the learning process. And so now I came in 2013, and with 15 months, Ebola was outbreak. And I had a decision to make, would I stay or would I go? But by the time that Ebola outbreak, I had so many relationships. I had so much responsibility here that I couldn't just go back to America knowing that my neighbor is at risk. That the woman who sells me food at night before I go home, she doesn't even know what Ebola is. I have to tell her. So it became something where I actually had to make a moral decision whether I was going to run back to America to potentially save myself, or was I going to stay here and do everything that I could do to raise awareness to potentially save other people. I lost my daughter to Ebola. I lost some of the youth that I was organizing water programs with in the community. Ebola. It was not fake. It was real. And I stayed. Because this is my home now. It's not just a visit, to fulfill. It's my life. My life is naturally evolving into me coming here and doing everything that I'm doing. So I know that there's called to come over. Many are called, but few are chosen. Choose Africa. Africa.
Of course. Thank you so much. Like, that was quite insightful. Yeah, so you actually have your citizenship as a true Sierra Leone citizen. In Nigeria, I'm not sure there is a very easy platform for um, Africans in the diaspora to easily integrate. We are really hoping that there is something like this in Nigeria, or that's actually the dream for Black Pilgrimage. We want the world to see there are actually Africans in diaspora, Africans in America, in the Caribbean, who actually want to come to Africa. But the African governments, on like in Nigeria, South Africa, and the rest, they have to make it easy. So I think Sierra Leone already has a program. I've heard about programs like that.
Yeah.
So how did you easily get your citizenship in Sierra Leone?
Well, in Sierra Leone, they have a process. They have several ways you can get your citizenship in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
First of all, based on the Sierra Leone constitution, you can be naturalized within 5 years. But the own constitution also has a Negro clause, meaning that only Negroes, only people of African descent can become naturalized citizens. So you have Lebanese people here who are born here, first, second, third generation, that cannot achieve citizenship. So this country and Liberia have what you call the Negro clause. The rest of the African countries do not. These are the only two. And the only reason why they have these Negro clauses is because they had a race consciousness in the very inception of their births as countries. And you also find that there was African Americans and West Indians who were part of the birth of both of these countries, who had bared the brunt of racism. It wasn't about our tribe or where we came from. It was about our race in white society. And so we created certain barriers almost from the inception in 1847 to block out non-African people from getting citizenship in these countries. And these are that have the rule on the Constitution. So that's very important to preach as well. So for many years, I went through a naturalized process. I've been here, I lived here, I have a village here, I pay village tax, I'm here, I live here. But what has happened is that some countries you go to, they say 20 years you got to stay here until a citizen before you can naturalize. Other countries say 15 years. And some places it costs a whole lot of money just to get your residency. In Sierra Leone, your business residency is $500 and for 5 years, and then you apply for your citizenship. So it's a walk, even constitutionally in Sierra Leone, to get your citizenship as an African in general. It doesn't matter if you're coming from the diaspora or nothing. If you are African, you are already on since about 2015, along with various other groups and people, some independent, some with us, and that would be the citizenship and ancestry DNA testing. So right now, people in the West are really adamant about finding identities. We know we're Africans. We call ourselves African Americans, but we want to know. I believe that we deserve to know more, and there's going to be more questions asked. Okay, well, if I'm of Yoruba descent, then why my pathway to Nigerian citizenship? You know, if I'm a descendant of Akan people, then what's my process to achieving kicked in the door in terms of our culture? They look like us. These are our people. And it takes more than that. It takes more than that to really get Africa to where it has to go. We have to begin to add tangibilities to the relationship. the tangibilities that will help both sides. And the number one tangibility that Africans in the diaspora are dying for, really want. And I'm not just talking about the ones coming. I'm talking about the ones who can't get here yet, maybe because of financial reasons or whatever. But there is going to be a wave of reverse migration of the historic African diaspora back to the continent. It's taking place right now. And so African countries have to review their immigration policies and their citizenship policies as it relates to the special classification of historically displaced Africans returning back to the countries of their origins as repatriates. Sierra Leone has really been able to kill all the red and set it off. So in the last 3 years, since 2019, there's been over 200 citizenships conferred on Africans, and not only from America, but I've seen Africans from the UK, from the Caribbean, all the way from Brazil, come here and receive the same treatment because they can prove that they have ancestry coming from this country using the African ancestry DNA test. And so that throws us into a whole other situation, whereas citizenship is one thing by DNA, but what about those who don't have DNA? We know we're Africans already. Why can't we have a general African Union sponsored program? Why can't all the African countries come together and come up with a policy for observing the African diaspora? It is the only way we're going to reverse the brain drain. It's impossible to do it relying on people who stay home in Africa. It's not going to happen that way. People are running away from Africa every day. And so we have to reverse this trend. And I really applaud the Sierra Leone government for having the courage to step out and do what many other countries are, I believe, afraid to do. Strict like that, afraid to do. Bringing another group of strong Africans to the continent at this time, where we have so much poor governance, we have so much corruption, we have so much violence, so much infighting, to go along with the excessive oppression and exploitation by the West and by China. What we're doing to ourselves is excessive. And the last thing that a lot of these people who are running these governments want is a conscious body of African Americans that do love the African people, that do want to learn the culture, that are tired of the West, to come back and really settle ourselves on the continent. So it is a challenge, and I believe that is really a call for all Pan-Africanists to reach out to their governors, to their governments,
Okay. Chief, thank you so much. The internet, you've really passed on a lot of value. Like, this was actually value loaded, but the internet just kept breaking and breaking. Man, like, you had like a load of value on this. I don't know why the internet is not cooperating, but that's still fine. You said a lot. Like, there are different ways to gain your citizenship in Sierra Leone, where he stays at. And they said by naturalization, or you have to pay to join in. He said a lot. Then also he talks about their, I forgot what exactly, but a policy that allows only people of African descent to have citizenship. Like, that's the first time I'm hearing something like that. In Nigeria, we have some Lebanese and white people who are actually Nigerians. So it's actually very beautiful to have a policy like that, because a country like Sierra Leone has its history from a lot of things. Yes. So right now, Sierra Leone actually has a policy that welcomes Africans in diaspora through African Ancestry. African Ancestry is a DNA testing company. They test your DNA, and if you actually have your DNA link. So, Chief, the line was, it's been breaking all through, but you just have to manage. That's what we always have to do. You have to manage. So, really thank you for this section. I don't know if you still have some advice to people, because people, yes, who want to come to Africa,
Yeah,
and
it's
who
all
want to
good.
make this
It's
decision.
all good.
Because
You
some
said,
people actually wish to be at where you are at right now, like staying 9 whole years, and not just staying 9 years. You started a movement that would bring people from the United States to America, and you're also building a community. That's very beautiful. That's where we hope to be at in the future. That's where some people actually want to be at. So, like, what advice do you have for people who are in America but actually want to do the same, repatriate and come to the motherland? While we wait for the internet, I know he has a lot to say, but that's fine. Okay, did you hear me, Chief? Oh,
hello?
yes, I was saying that
Yes, I
maybe,
can
yeah.
hear you. I can hear you. So, I heard what you said, and I hope that you can hear me too. So yes, I think that in last words, what I would say is, first of all, to you, to keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You know, keep bringing our people home. Keep doing the work that is necessary to spread the word, to let our people know that home is safe for us. You know, that we can come home. That there are people out here doing it, providing platforms to people like myself and others to be able to explain our stories so people can understand that it's really practical. It's really something that can be done. So I would say that for you and other people who are really bridging the gap and building these platforms to bring our people home, to keep it up. And secondly, I would say for those out there in the diaspora who are really seeking to come home, whether you're in the United States, Canada, Jamaica, you know, Trinidad, Brazil, Mexico, wherever you are African descendant, and you have it in your heart to return to the African continent, I would say start there. Start there. Start in the West. Start around you. There's millions and millions of many Africans throughout the diaspora who are born in Africa, who know and were raised in the tradition and have the connection to get us back home safely. I'm not saying that everyone is to be trusted or everyone is the same, but what I am saying is that you find the responsible brothers and sisters out there and you build that. I think that's one of my advices. Another one, sponsor a football team, soccer, for school, some desks, some tables, start a library. These are the kind of things that we can do to start building a relationship before we even get to the questions of land, before we even start talking repatriation, everything. We should start studying. We should start supporting African business and fashion. There's things we can start doing already while we're in the diaspora that will bring us closer to the African continent. And it all takes is for us to reach out to our people and start building those relationships. So if you're from the African diaspora, the second one is to definitely start making relationships with Africans who were born on the continent, have the continental connections out there in the diaspora. Thirdly, I would say continue to build on social media. Don't sleep on social media. Most people on social media, they follow what they prefer, what they're into. And so you're finding these groups of people who are all interested in doing the same things. In Africa, we can mobilize these groups. We can organize. You understand? So I think that's another thing. I think I was also saying, wherever I'm meeting people who have traveled to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 countries in Africa. east, west, south. And they still haven't found a place that they want to call home yet. For their families. And it is a journey. It is a journey. I was lucky. I came, I saw, and I loved it, and I stayed. But that's for me. That's for me. Maybe the next person would like Sierra Leone. So I think that the research, do your due diligence with your research. Make sure that it's a country that you would like to live in. Study the law. I made sure I knew the Constitution
Well,
of Sierra Leone.
thank you so much, Chief.
I made sure I understood the law. Made sure I knew how business was done. I understood the money, the currency, the Leone. I studied to make sure that I knew how much healthcare infrastructure was available. It's not much, but I knew what was there. You understand? I didn't just dismiss it and say, "Ah, it's a."
Man. Wow, I don't know what to say. Like, the section we had was a value bomb, but the internet was making it really difficult. I just kept on trying to get the little I could hear, and surprisingly, all the people who were live with us just remained live because there was so much value. Like, we just have to get Chief Mansa on this section again. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we are hoping maybe the internet connection will be stronger, or I don't know. I really don't know. But man, he had so much to give. Like, there was just too much to say. It was a value bomb. So I don't know if you have any questions. If you are coming from I'm not sure anybody came from the group, like the Facebook group. So I'll be sending out his link. So if you want to reach out to Chief, thank you so much for this section. I'm really grateful because with all the breaks and the internet issue we had, I picked a lot. I picked a lot I could make content from, like a lot. Thank you for the encouragement. It's not been easy. I won't delete it. Don't worry. I won't delete it. So a lot. I learned a lot from this section. He had a lot to say. And it's very, very, I think we are about to start a WhatsApp group. And if you're interested in all this, so he will be on the group too. So I think WhatsApp is easier for us in Africa. Like, we don't have to deal with that. You just do a voice note, or it's easier that way to drop your content, and you will not have to face all these breaks in between. So thank you so much, Chief. Like, that was such a valuable section. Very interesting. Like, I'm sure you will testify to it, those of us that stayed through with all the breaks and internet failure. I just stood through it. I was like, okay, I got this, and I got this. I have my pen here. So I've been actually taking notes from the little I could actually pick from the internet breaks in between. So thank you once again. And thank you if you joined live. We refuse to be discouraged. Next week, we'll be holding it on Instagram. Facebook have really done me a lot. I was almost depressed last week when they disabled my account. I was like, what? What did I do? I just went live and they disabled my account just like that. So we'll be using this Instagram. I rarely post on this and I rarely put content on this handle. But from henceforth, we'll actually be building on this and having our live event here. So you can tag someone, share on your story. Please help us grow. Once again, we are Black. This is Black Pilgrimage Africa. And we are on a mission to bring Black people in the diaspora back to the motherland. Visit trips, repatriations, and we do this by holding group trips every year. We hold group trips two times a year. And the dream is actually to bring at least 1,000 Blacks in diaspora every year on a group trip to the motherland, and also encourage them to invest or repatriate. But the thing is, you must come to the motherland. Coming to Africa is more than just a trip. It's actually a spiritual visit. It's the land of your ancestors. I've heard people say, I actually have a history in America, but Dr. Jerome told me something. He said that every race have a history, and the Blacks in America, the history of Blacks in America goes beyond the transatlantic slave trade. So Black history is actually Africa, where your ancestors were picked from, our ancestors that were exploited. And so I actually want to educate many people. Many people don't know this. And if more people are getting to understand this and are getting more interested in the motherland, already there is a bad image that the media portrays about Africa. Africa is like a dead zone where nobody wants to be at. Nobody wants to be at in Africa, but that's what we want to do. We want to change the narrative. We want to bring people like Chief Mansa, people already doing a lot, bringing change to the motherland. Like Africa was exploited and extorted. This continent is the most exploited race in the whole of the world. That is why we face so much backwardness, like colonization, transatlantic slave trade, everything we had to deal with. So Africa is very strong. So we actually want to bring back our brothers, the African people all over the world to come and invest in the motherland. Let's bring out the beauty of Africa. Africa could be, we have to work together to do this. We want Black pilgrimage to be a success. It's a dream, but I believe it's achievable. If you can think it, you can make it. I have that belief that if I can think it, we can make it. 1,000 people on a trip, pilgrimage to Africa. So thank you very much for staying true with me. Thank you for being live. I really appreciate it. Please, we'll be having this same event, same time, 12 p.m. CST on this Instagram account. Invite someone, because we'll be bringing someone else who would have a lot to say. Thank you so much and have a great weekend.